Dave knows how.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd make a video today about a subject that has came up from time to time on the tractor forum over on Facebook. And there's a lot of different opinions on what to do and what not to do in the respect to where you should run your RPMs on your tractor, whether it be a Kubota tractor, John Deere, LS, Mahindra, Massey. They're all more alike than they are different. So you can pretty much guarantee that this is for every tractor brand out there. A lot of people may say that this is merely Dave's opinion, and in some ways it is Dave's opinion, but it's based off of information that I've gotten through the manufacturer and through the manufacturer's literature and through the owner's manual. So, you know, it's always good to reflect back on your owner's manual. You know, the numbers that I throw out will be basically pertaining to my model tractor. And I may not even throw out a bunch of numbers because it's kind of irrelevant, I guess you'd say, to the overall scheme of things. But there's a couple of important things that you need to think about as far as running your tractor, where to run your tractor RPMs when you're operating your tractor and when your tractor is just sitting still and that type of thing. Now, some model tractors specify that they want you to start the tractor at half throttle. My specific model does not specify that, so generally I start my tractor at all the way low throttle. And that's just the way I've always done it. So there's nothing in my manual that says to do it otherwise. I have heard from folks, unless they're misreading their manual, because I'm not going to go through and read every tractor manual there is out here, they're saying that their tractor manual specifies that they start their tractor at half throttle. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but it is what it is. Anyhow, I start mine at low idle. Mine is an HST transmission, hydrostatic drive transmission. RPMs is very, very important on a hydrostatic drive transmission because the transmission is operating off of the flow rate and the flow pressure of the hydraulic system. And if you look in your owner's manual on the specifications table page, you will find where it has listed under the engine, the make, model, type, number of cylinders, bore stroke, total displacement, engine gross power, engine net power, and rated revolutions per minute. Now that's a very important one, the rated revolutions per minute, because Everything else in this manual about this tractor is based off of that number, the rated revolutions per minute. That means that the horsepower of this tractor, the gross and the net horsepower of this tractor is calculated when the tractor is running at the engine's rated RPMs. For this specific model tractor, the rated RPMs is 2,800 RPMs. Now, if I look at my 540 mark, my 540 mark is nowhere near 2,800 RPMs. In fact, my 540 mark is 23 to 2,400 RPMs. They give you that slot. 2,300 to 2,400 RPMs is 540 at the PTO. Now, the way I feel about it, and from everything that, all the information I've gathered throughout the years, there's a couple things that needs to happen. You need to be at a minimum of the 540 mark when you're operating your tractor. When you're moving forward and moving reverse and running operations like a front end loader and a rear 3-point lift, it is important that you maintain the proper flow and the proper pressure to be able to operate the transmission, the 3-point, and whatever implement you have on the front of your tractor. You can't do this if your tractor RPMs are lower, because the lower your tractor RPMs are, the lower your flow rate is and the lower your pressure is going to be. You can put a pressure gauge and a flow meter on there and you can see that. So it's important that you stay at 540 or above when you're operating your tractor. Now, when you come to a stop and, you know, there are exceptions to the rule. If I'm running a post hole digger on the back of this tractor, I'm not moving forward, I'm not moving backwards, I'm not using the transmission. Only thing I'm using is a 3-point lift, and I want to slow that 3-point lift up and down a little bit, slow it down some, and I want to slow down the amount of RPMs of that PTO so that auger don't spin so fast, because I find it actually works a little better for me to have it at a little slower RPM. So I'll drop my RPMs, you know, for example, you know, my 540 mark, like I said, is 2,300 to 2,400. I'll drop my RPMs down to 2,000 RPMs to run a post hole digger. I'm not moving forward and reverse. I don't need the hydraulic flow for that. But even still, I wouldn't drop much lower than that, because you do need the flow rate to assist in cooling the hydraulic fluid, and that is very important. The flow rate, how fast or how slow that fluid gets pumped through that cooling radiator on the front, is vital to keeping that hydraulic fluid nice and cool. So I wouldn't drop it much lower than that if, you know, when you're operating something. If you're just going to set for a few minutes, you know, you can drop it down to half idle and get off the tractor and do what you need to do and come back and get back on the tractor, you know. Anyhow, that's my thoughts on the tractor RPMs and where they need to be. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Hopefully I've covered everything and this video hasn't gone on too long to be too boring. But I think it's something worth touching base on. And your owner's manual, there's no replacement for the owner's manual. Look in your owner's manual, find out what your rated engine RPMs are in the owner's manual. And that's really where you need to be running your tractor at, unless you've got a PTO driven implement on the back, like a brush hog or finish mower or something like that, you know, or under mid-mount mower deck or something. of that nature, then of course you need to be at the recommended RPM for that specific implement. In the case of the rear implements, the 540 range is where you need to be at. So, you know, really the only time you would be running below the rated engine RPMs would be when you're running at the 540 mark. Would it hurt to run the tractor at the 540 mark all the time? No, it wouldn't hurt it at all. The tractor is designed to run efficiently enough at the 540 mark to be able to handle the load of a brush hog, which can really put a lot of load on a tractor, and still not overheat the hydraulics and have plenty of flow for cooling and whatnot. So you could run at 540 and be safe. I personally like to run mine almost at the 2800 mark that this recommends for the rated engine RPM. I typically run about 2600 RPMs, just to give you an idea. My rated RPM is 2800, but I typically run at 2600. If I'm doing box blade work, front end loader work, stuff of that nature, 2600 RPMs is where I'm running. If I throw the brush hog, finish mower, rotor tiller, something like that on here, then I'm at the 540 mark. If I've got the post hole digger on here, I drop it down to 2000 RPMs, which is, my 540 is between 2300 and 2400. So I'm only dropping it down 300 RPMs to run the post hole digger, and that's not enough to do any real damage because I'm not using the transmission to move forward and backward because I'm just sitting there digging a post hole, you know, and it makes it a little bit more controllable. So anyway, hope it helps. Appreciate you guys watching my channel. I know it's been a long time since I made a video. You know, just what can I say? I just haven't really been into it. I haven't had the spirit hadn't moved me to make any. Actually, I have been working on several different ones, and I just didn't like how they turned out, so they get put on the back burner, and I either go back to the drawing board or they never get published. So, but there are a couple that that I've been working on. You know, I've got another video coming of the Super Shaker soil sifter. Did some sifting with that thing a couple days ago, and man, that is a nice machine to have. I'm so glad that I went ahead and finished building that thing. That was a long project going. It took me several years to build it because I just kept, you know, I had a lot of things going on and I just couldn't stay on it. But I'm glad I finished it because it's been a lot of fun to use and a real joy to have. And I'm glad that I've got it. So anyway, stay tuned to the channel. I appreciate all my new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Seems like the subscriber count is definitely growing, and we have a great tractor community here. If you look in the comments under this video, you will see a lot of tractor guys with tractor channels that comment under this video and go to their channel, subscribe to their channel, check out their content and see if it's something that you would enjoy. I'm sure it will be, because all the guys that watch my channel that have YouTube channels really do create a lot of quality stuff. Always impressed with what I see on so many of the channels. I could sit here and name them off, but man, we'd be here all day. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.